Break the internet. Release the leaks.
Hey everyone, well, we have some leaks. The break the internet, release the leaks. It's interesting, I gotta say. Welcome everyone back to another video here on Middle Earth Gaming. Forewarning, this is probably gonna be a long video. I was gonna put this video out, when all the stuff got leaked. And don't worry guys, there is a point of watching this video. If you guys have already seen what's already out there, I do have some exclusive stuff for you. So if you guys want to check out, and I'm not going to leave it out to the end of the video, I'm going to put it up straight away so you guys know what's going on. So after this intro, I'm going to get straight into the stuff that I haven't seen online yet, that I've found. So yeah, it's insane what's actually happened. What we know is that somehow I assume that some of the influencers have got some of the boxes already early for War of the Rohirrim, for Battle of Edoras, and some of the GW stores got them as well as ready. This is telling me that this is coming very, very soon. This is going to be coming. Well, obviously the movie comes out in 2 weeks into December. It's coming out in like a month from this week. So I don't see why we wouldn't. I expect that we get the pre-order coming in 2 weeks. So obviously there's a 2-week pre-order window these days for GW. So I assume not this Sunday preview, but the next Sunday preview, it's going to be announced that the War of the Rohirrim will be going on pre-order on that the next Saturday. So that's my prediction. We'll see if I'm wrong or we're right. Fingers crossed. We're still waiting on Birder on the Hill Troll, so we'll wait and see on that. But we're going to get straight into it, guys, and have a few things in there. I've got the scenarios from the book, from the not like the narrative scenarios, I should say, from the little booklet you get in Battle of Edoras, and we also have the magical powers. And oh boy, have they changed. Well, there's a big thing that has changed. I've also got heroic actions as well. Some of the things, there's a heroic action that's not in there anymore. It seems like we have lost heroic channel, which can probably tell you what the difference that the magical powers have changed as well. So we're gonna get straight into it. If you guys are going to enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. I do want to just have a quick shout out to all the channel members that help out the channel. You guys are awesome, and make sure to join the Discord guys, because we're talking about this already in the Discord. So make sure to join it. Link is in the description for all that stuff. But let's get straight into it. So here we go, guys. Let's get straight into it. So first up, we have the narrative scenarios, and this is obviously from the Battle of Edoras starter set. And obviously these scenarios are designed to help you learn the game. So these aren't going to be massive scenarios. They're not going to be they're not going to have all the rules, obviously, but I really like scenarios. As you guys know, I'm a narrative player. I don't get to a lot of tournaments. I haven't been to a tournament this year, I've got to say. So I'm a massive narrative player, and I just, for me, I was almost more excited for the narrative scenarios than anything else, to be honest. But it's very, very cool. So we have the first assault, which comes with a few models. We then have the gates fall. It's also making me want to get some Rohan terrain. I don't have any of the Palisades, actually. So it's actually making me want to get some, just to dress up the boards kind of thing. So I can do some battle reports of this stuff for you guys, which I think will be cool. We also have Torch the City, which is kind of like a old scenario from the Two Towers source book, journey book, I should say, where you have to like defend the houses before, and they don't set them ablaze, which is cool. And then we have Last Stand of the Princess. I probably should have said this is probably going to be a bit of a spoiler alert. Spoiler alert for the because I assume with some of the special rules in here and some of the things that go on, it might happen in the film. Who knows? It could just be for the starter set, but it's most likely what's going to happen in the film. So there we go. But very, very cool. Excited to play them. Can't wait for sure. Next, we get into magical powers. Now, I know this hasn't been shown. So ta-da, we have magical powers. Now, a few things going on here. As you guys can see, in the current edition of the rules, whichever it is, it's right here. At the magical power section, the channeled version goes underneath the magical power. As you guys can see here, it's not here, which points out two things. Either it's here, but it's in a different section, like maybe channel versions there's not such thing as a channeled version of you know, magic anymore. Maybe because we know that Elrond has heroic channeling, so there are still heroic channeling things, but maybe the powers don't get heroic channel. Maybe heroic channeling means you get a better you know, it's easier to cast or something along those lines. I'm not too sure. We haven't really seen that yet. We have seen some of the heroic actions. We haven't seen them all. We haven't seen the main four, like heroic heroic move, heroic shoot, heroic combat, and heroic channel. So those original, I don't know how I got to 5, but those original 4 we haven't seen yet. So maybe something's going to go along that. So it doesn't seem like heroic channeling's gone, but the channel versions aren't there. So that color me confused. I'm not too sure about that, but we'll have to wait and see. What's awesome though, well, a few things here actually. Magical powers have changed. There are a few things that have changed in it, and also we have 2 new magical powers. No magical powers have been taken out, but there are 2 new ones, which is kind of cool. So first of all, we have, you know, a few things in here. Black Dart's the first big one. So instead of a strength 9 hit, it's now a strength 6 hit, so less impactful. You'll find that with a lot of these magical powers, they've gone down in lethality, which is interesting. Not too sure why. But yeah, it doesn't seem that magic's going to be too potent in this edition. Well, not as powerful, shall we say. So yeah, Black Dart's got a bit of a nerf, but there's a few things in here that's kind of cool. Next one, let's go to the next one. So we have still Chill Soul, Collapse Rocks, all that kind of stuff. Compel, not too sure if that's changed. I don't think I checked that one. But there's a few things in here. And Enchant Blades, especially, it's essentially Enchanted Blades. It's just got a different name. Enrage Beast, Flame Burst, it's all still there. Drain Courage, Foil Magic is a new special rule. This is a new magical power. I'm not too sure if it's going to be like from a different character, because again, it could be foreshadowing. Because like in the Hobbit edition, we had Fortified Spirit, we had Banishment, and we had Curse. Fortified Spirit and Banishment didn't come out. It was in the 2012 version of The Hobbit, but that didn't come out until Battle of the Five Armies when Galadriel got them. And now obviously a few other characters have them now. And Curse didn't come out until 2016 when They're Back Again came out with the Middle Earth team. So maybe they might, the 2 new magic powers, Foil Magic, and the other one coming later on, might be with characters that we already know, but they could also be foreshadowing for something that could be coming out later later down the line. But that's kind of cool. Fury's changed. In a sense that, you know, it's just about courage now. Again, we don't know if there's going to be a channeled version. If not, maybe there'll be a channeled section of magical powers. But from what we can see here, there's no channeled versions, but there is still heroic channeling in the game, which is odd. Like I said, color me confused. Again, Nature's Wrath, Panic Steed, it's all still there. Paralyzed, I haven't read Paralyzed, so I'm not so sure if that's changed, but you guys can see it for yourselves here. Next up, yeah, also here, Sorcerous Blast has changed quite a bit, I noticed. I've really checked the magical powers that a lot of people would notice, really. So Sorcerous Blast has changed. So instead of knocking back 6 inches and then stopping, like when you hit the, like, you know, in intangible object or like another model, you just get knocked over. You don't get flung back anymore. There's no more of that kind of stuff to knocking into someone else. You just, if you survive the strength 5 hits, you get knocked over. You get knocked prone. So that's interesting. Yeah, you basically just get tripped up. Transfix is here. You'll notice Immobilizers in here, but Transfix and Immobilize are essentially the same. So there's no Immobilize, but there is Transfix. And as you guys can see, it's just, you just don't do anything for the turn. So it's like, it's not like the old Transfix of old or Immobilize of old, where, you know, you go down to 1 attack, fight 1, or even in the Hobbit edition, half attacks, half fight. It is literally, you can't do any actions, you can't activate, you can't do anything. If you're in a combat, you will still fight the combat, but if you win the combat, you will not make strikes. So yeah, it's essentially what Immobilize probably should be, which is nice. There's, as you guys can see, there's Withering. Is it Withering? Yes, Withering Vines is the other new one. Again, I don't see anyone in the current state of the game where this would be used. I really don't. Maybe Radagast? Who the hell knows? As you can see, Wither's still there, Wrath of Bruin, and your Staff is Broken is still there, which is all there. So really, the big things that have changed: Sorceress Blast. What was the other one? I already forgot. I've already forgot the name. Sorceress Blast and Black Dart are pretty big changes, as we can see. 2 new magical powers. Nothing's been taken out except for the except for the channeling of magical powers, but again, we still do have heroic channel, as we know from that Elrond profile. So it's interesting that that's in there, but there's no channel versions in here. Again, maybe heroic channeling now is something different. Maybe it makes it easier to cast, or something along those lines, or maybe you can do it twice. Maybe it's something along those. Maybe with heroic channeling, it's like everything within 6 inches this happens to, or who the hell knows. But I think it's interesting that the channel version isn't under the magical power anymore. So that makes me think that the channeled versions are different, obviously. But yeah, there we go. So that's magical powers. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I think it's kind of cool. Let me know. I think this is gonna be a long video, guys. So yeah, I'd love to know your comments about all this stuff that we're talking about. Next up, we have the heroic actions. So everything so far, even the heroic actions, I haven't seen anyone do as of the time of me recording this. Heroic defense has not changed. Heroic strength has changed. So instead of being a D3 to your strength to go up, it is now double your strength. So you're basically saying that I think that's going to be a lot better, in my opinion. Instead, like I said, instead of heroics being heroic strength and getting D3 strength, you're now getting basically doubling, which I think is a lot better, but it is still maxed out to a maximum of 10. So there you go. Heroic strike has changed, I think, for the better. Instead of D6, it's now D3. That's pretty much the only change. Again, it's going to make sure that Jeff or Bob, the lonely captains, don't go and out fight Sauron or Aragorn, or those kind of heroes. They're still going to win the heroic strike off at the end of the day. So I mean, you can still heroic strike. I mean, you still, like, depending on what the 5 values are. Like, if Aragorn goes to fight value 7 and you have a captain who's 5 value 4, you still might want to heroic strike, just because if you're going to die, you may as well spend one of their might, because otherwise it's going to be a draw. Do they really want to do a 50-50 draw for that kind of thing? Who knows? Maybe they do, but maybe they don't either way. So there you go, guys. That is heroic strike. So next up, we have something called heroic resolve. Let's go heroic accuracy. Heroic accuracy and take aim is pretty much the same. I don't see any changes there. Heroic resolve is a little bit different. So if you call heroic resolve, you automatically pass all courage tests that you're required to make until the end of the turn, which is cool. Obviously, we know that courage has changed as well, which is I think a lot simpler. From what I gather, these changes than what has been made. It's the same game. It's just, I think it's also more dynamic, but it's also a lot simpler as well. So things like the courage being just rolling 2 dice and you have to pass what your courage value is. Instead of rolling 2 dice and then adding your courage value and getting past 10, now you're just going to pass your courage value, which I think is a lot better. So for example, if we skip over to Elrond, wherever he is, which we have here, we do have him here somewhere. As you guys can see, his courage value is 3. So rolling 2 dice, like he's unless on a double 1, he's not gonna fail, which is nice. So there you go. We were up to here. So yeah, so courage has changed, I think, for the better. It's gonna be a lot more simpler for people coming into the game to find out what courage is, and I think that's probably why they've done it. I think with such a big reinvestment into the game, they obviously will get new players in, which at the end of the day is going to be great for us, for veteran players and all that. Heroic resolve also means that if you're broken, that's also going to be really great. If you're broken, cast heroic resolve, because it cast immediately. and then you're going to it activates stand fast. So just in case if something happens, if you automatically pass it, that could leaving a might point to the end of the game. With someone who's got heroic resolve might swing it one way or the other. I think that could work really well in someone's favor. Heroic Challenge has changed quite a bit, and I think for the better. Heroic Challenge, I don't think I ever used Heroic Challenge in the last edition, I gotta say. I don't think I ever used it once. And now I'm actually thinking I really want to use it. I think it's a lot of fun. So basically, you call a heroic challenge. Before you had to be in base contact. Now you have to be within 6 inches of your target. And then if you pass it, if you call heroic challenge, and your opponent declines, then nothing happens to them essentially. But you still get a +1 attack when making strikes and when wounding, and then a +1 to wound as well, which I think is incredible. So I don't think I don't know why you'd want to decline in any sense, because I mean maybe you would, but essentially if let's break this down one by one. If someone calls her a challenge and someone's accepted, you both have to move as close to each other as possible, until you get into combat essentially. And then you both get +1 attack when making strikes, and when wounding, you get +1 to wound. Now also, if someone accepts it and someone declines it, the person who declines it doesn't get that effect. So I assume that also means, I don't know, I didn't really read it too much, but if you decline it, I don't think you have to move closer. But I think the person who challenges it does have to move closer, and they still get the +1 attack, +1 to wound when making strikes. So I think you would. There's probably some situations where you wouldn't want to do it, but I think in most situations you probably do want to do it. You still have to call her a challenges to someone who's equal to or higher 5 value. You can't call it to someone who is lesser 5 value. So that's why I don't understand why you would decline it now. I think it's definitely a lot better. And then at the end, whoever wins gets 1 might point back. So I think it's cool. The reward obviously isn't as great as it used to be, but because you get 1 might back, so you're basically just getting it back for the heroic challenge. So you basically just you're basically at a level playing field. But I think if you go into combat, I think it's just for that extra killing power. I think that's why you do it. Again, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I think this could be a lot of fun. I think heroic challenge will get used now in certain situations. I think it's more towards what it should have been originally. But I think it's cool. I'm definitely want to use it for sure. So that's everything new that I haven't seen out out online, on the groups or anything like that. But now everything that we are looking through now, I'm just going to go through it quickly because you guys have all seen it. You guys are probably bored about it now. We have the quick reference guide. So talking about this, obviously it tells you what you need to do. I think it's really great. Obviously it's very helpful. We have the contents of the rulebook, so it tells you everything that's in it. Like I said, it's pretty much the same game, guys. It's just the same game. There's a few things tweaked. It's nothing game-breakingly bad, which is great. I think a lot of people can rest easy now. I know some people won't. Some people will prefer the old edition. That's completely fine. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. But there's a few things in here which is interesting. The scenarios have changed. There's 6 scenarios in here, and it's a mix of the 18 that we currently have, which means for me, I think they're going to destroy the match play guide essentially, and there's going to be 6 scenarios to start off with. I do think that there will be another match play guide for the new edition when it comes out, because I'm assuming that things have changed with it, like with the scenarios, obviously with the intelligence stat, because we know that the intelligence stat, one of the things that allows you to do is to pick up objects, like in the prize essentially. You need to pass an intelligence check which is again 2d6 to pick it up. So I think the match play scenarios have to be rewritten essentially. So they've given you 6 here, which are 6 from the normal that you usually get. So we have domination, to the death, hold ground, destroy the supplies, what is it, reconnoiter, and fog of war. So a few of the same ones that we usually get in the rule books, but again, some of them are from the match play guide already. So these are ones that are obviously have been changed. We also have fighting at night in the event's special rules, because we have what was it, fog by moonlight or something by moonlight is a scenario. Maybe there's going to be new scenarios that will be placed entirely at night, or there'll be like a dawn of war kind of scenario where you start at nighttime and then you can go into the morning and into the daytime. So it seems like there's going to be a bit more. There's going to be more changes in those kind of respects, which is kind of cool. You know, there's stuff in there about sieges, narrative play, match play, siege engines, all that kind of stuff. That's all still there, which is nice. But yeah, I think they'll get rid of the current match play guide, and I think they'll bring a new one out with all the updated scenarios, I think, which is cool. We have the characteristics. Again, it just goes through what they mean. There's not really much to talk about there. Courage has changed, like I said. Now instead of rolling 2d6 and adding your courage to get past a 10, now you have a courage value that you have, and you need to roll 2d6 and get plus that. So if we see, if we go past here, we're back at Oron's. He has a courage 3+. So you roll 2d6, and if you roll above a 3+ on 2d6, then you pass. So the only way that Oron's going to fail courage is on a double one, or maybe with Harbinger of Evil, if that's still a thing. We'll have to wait and see. But yes, we have Oron's profile here. So if we talk about Oron's profile, he is movement 6, 5 AU 7, which is nice. So it's an increase of 5 value. It's not a save. It's not a save of 3+. That's a shoot value of 3+. Just so you guys are aware. Strength 4, defense 7, 3 attacks, 3 wounds, courage 3+, and his intelligence of 3+. I've got to get used to saying that, to be honest. We also have his might, will, and fate are all 3, which is nice. A base size of 25 millimeters, which, you know, I guess it has to be in there. Unit type hero, infantry, unique, faction Rivendell, and race elf. Then we get into some of his war gear. So he has Hatterfang, heavy armor, and Villia. Hatterfang is pretty much, I think, is the same. Yeah, I think it's pretty much the same. Did it say making strikes on the spirit model before? I'm not too sure. I don't have the book with me, the current one, so I'm not too sure if that's the same. Elrond may reroll fail fate rolls, so he still has Villia, so one of the Elven rings, so that's cool. Heroic actions, he has heroic channeling, defense, resolve, and strike, which is nice. So that means he can get to fight 10, because he's at 5 value 7. You roll a 5 or a 6, he's up to fight value 10, so that's really nice. And he has options for a horse for 20 points, so you can still buy options for things. I had a feeling that with the profiles that we're coming to later for the box set, that there was going to be we'll come to it later, guys. Remind me remind me about that. He also has magical powers, so he's got Renew on a 3+, Wrath of Bruinen on a 4+. He also has Lord of the West. He also has Foresight of the Elder. He has Expert Rider, Terror, and Woodland Creature. So that's just a basic outline of a profile, guys. And he's 170 points, which I think is pretty much the same as he is now. So that's kind of cool. We also have a few other things from the rulebook, so it goes through the turn sequence. Priority has changed, guys. Priority has changed, so you roll priority as normal, and then whoever wins gets to decide who goes first, which I think is interesting, and I think could work very well, depending on who you are. I think at the start, depending what side you are, depending what army you take, obviously, you might want you win priority, but you want your opponent to take it, so you give your opponent priority to see where they move. I think also at the end of the game, when your opponent's broken, maybe you're not broken, but your opponent's broken, you win priority, but then you give it to your opponent. Or even when you are broken, how many times have we lost a game because you're broken and then you win priority and you didn't want priority, and then half your army your army just runs off the table. I think at that point that could win you games. I think that giving your opponent priority when you don't want it in those kind of situations, I think will win people games. Because I've definitely lost games because of that. And I was like, if only my opponent got priority, I probably would have won the game. But now it's a possibility, which is cool. Yeah, so I definitely think it's definitely situational, but I think it's definitely will work. So we also have stuff about intelligence, which you can see here of how intelligence is being used. So you roll an intelligence test to pick up the prize, which you can see Thorin doing here. You also see for a fell light is in them from the specters. You now pass an intelligence test. Now you only have to pass one, and then you don't have to pass any for the rest of the turn for that special rule. So you see the two specters here against Frodo. We have they both casting a fell light is in them. I think that's what it's called. Both at Frodo. So it seems like if you pass one intelligence test, so you pass one for one special rule, then if someone casts the same special rule at you, or the same, whatever it's going to be, that you need to pass an intelligence test for, you don't have to pass it again in that same turn. If they cast something different to you, then I guess you have to do a different test for that. But because they cast that in twice, means that he doesn't have to roll again, which is cool. So he's basically he's immune. So you don't have to pass you don't have to spend will points for that kind of stuff anymore, which is interesting. I kind of like that. And then it goes over the unit type. So it has war beasts, chariots, siege engines, heroes, warriors, monsters, mounts, cavalry, infantry. Beasts, unique, sworn, and elite. Now elite is a different one. Elite is now I've got my notes here, which is not opening. So it seems that the new term of elite, elite troops can only be led by a hero with the same type and elite and the leader keyword. So you're no longer going to see, from what I understand, from what people are gathering, you're not going to see massive amounts of Rohan Royal Guard on the table. But you will see maybe Theoden leading Royal Guard, but no one else. So those type of things. So for people with massive elite looking armies, you're probably not going to get too much of that. Obviously, like if you're playing at home or those kind of things, do what you want, obviously. And who knows, maybe Legendary Legions you might be able to have more elites than some than some others. But from what we can gather here, those kind of elite warriors like Fountain Court Guard, the Fountain Court defend the Fountain Court. That you don't see them outside of Minas Tirith, if at all. The Citadel Guard defend the Citadel. You're not going to see massive amount of troops of them, but you will see them guarding those type of heroes like Denethor. Maybe Denethor can lead Fountain Court or Citadel Guard, those kind of things. So I think personally that makes sense. I understand that some people won't be they'll be upset. I understand. They've got these collections that they want to use, but as a thematic wise, as a narrative wise, I think that makes a lot of sense. You're not going to see, Tim or Jeff, the captain, lead massive amounts of Fountain Court Guard. That just doesn't make a lot of sense. Why would they care about Jeff? Poor Jeff. And then we go onto the profiles that were leaked from the Battle Veteran starter set. So we have Haleth. He's 5AU6, so a nice Fight 6 Rohan hero, which we don't really have. They're usually Fight 5, so that's kind of cool. It also seems from the future we're going to get more higher fight value heroes for Rohan. I definitely can see AMR going up to Fight 6, by Theoden at Fight 6, those type of things. But as you guys can see in the next one, things like Warriors of Rohan, they are still at Fight 3. As you guys can see here, they're still Fight 3. They've got a shooting value of 4+, Strength 3, Defense 4, same as before. 1 attack, 1 wound, Courage of a 7+, and Intelligence of a 6+. So there you go. And they come with armor and hand weapon. And this is what I was saying before. They have options. A warrior of Rohan must have one of the following options: a bow, a shield, and throwing spears. So for me, those kind of things I thought would be points valued, but when I first saw, because I didn't see the Elrond profile first, I saw this profile first. So I thought it was going to be in a 40k sense where you just pay for the model, and then your options are free essentially. Like you can choose what you want. But going back to the Elrond profile where he can take a horse, a lot of these profiles here, so if we go up to Hammer here, the Wargie, he already comes with a horse. So maybe it's just, I'm assuming this is just for the starter set to make it simpler for beginners, and maybe in the armies of Lord of the Rings or wherever it's going to be, armies of War of the Rohirrim, whatever it's going to be, then you will have an option to buy a horse, so you can just take him on foot. Or maybe like Argadir, because Argadir at the moment, the new hero for Arnor, his profile already comes with a horse. You don't have to pay for it, it automatically comes with it. So I think there's some things in there that could that could happen. But again, we'll just have to wait and see, because again, we're just going off leaked images here. And obviously these are not going to be the I'm assuming the profiles will not change, but the formatting might change in Armies of Lord of the Rings. So you're gonna see it much more like wherever the Elrond profile was here. It's gonna look a lot more like this, and not so much like this. So there you go. Again, I think it's just for simplicity's sake for the starter set. Then we have Wolf as well. Very cool model. I can't wait for these guys to come out, guys. I'm so excited. We also have the Hill Tribesman and General Targ, and this is where I first saw his special rule Dunling Commander. It says here, whilst General Targ is alive on the battlefield, if you're in the role to choose who has priority, and choose to give it priority to your opponent. So that's where I first found out, and I think I was the first one on the Discord to figure this out. Make sure to join the Discord, guys, as well, because we talk about a lot about this stuff. I think I was the first one to figure out that you can give your opponent priority, which is kind of cool. I think that's a really cool design, because I know in Sigmar, I believe it happens. Like if you win priority, you can give it to your opponent. I think. Don't quote me on that. But I don't see why not. Like you win the role, you win the advantage, so you can give, you have the advantage to you let your opponent go first, or you can give the advantage to yourself. I think that makes a lot of sense. But there we go, guys. What do you guys think? There was a few new things, like I said, in there. That is pretty much everything that I have seen so far. I'm sure there'll probably be more in the future. Who knows? I might cover it. I might not. Let me know in the comment section below if you guys enjoyed it. If not, bit of a longer video here, guys, but I tried to condense it down as much as I can to try and get the bullet points across. I know I probably missed stuff, guys. Put it in the comment section below if you if I've missed anything, which I probably have. Especially some of the magical powers. I don't know them all off by heart. I just went through, I just skimmed through it, just to see which ones have changed the most, essentially. Again, let me know what you guys think about heroic channeling. Do you guys think that obviously heroic channeling is still there, because we have Elrond's profile here, that it's, it still has heroic channeling in the profile, in the heroic actions that you can take, but in the magical powers, the heroic channeled versions aren't there. So I'm interested. Again, color me confused. We'll have to wait and see. But there we go, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Again, would love to know your opinions, guys. Join the Discord, guys, because I'm trying to build that up, and we always talk SBG, everything else besides, and you guys won't miss out on any videos or content or live streams, that kind of stuff. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you all, guys, all for the support, and let's get the hype train rolling. Until next time, make sure, again, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next one. As always, happy gaming.